when we talk about Final Fantasy XIV, I was hoping that we would see something about Endwalker on Xbox at the FanFest, but Yoshi P says in multiple quotes, there's no reason that there's no blocks on Xbox Microsoft side to keep the game off. Phil Spencer has done a lot of work. There's still a lot like online, even in the video, like even in the comments for people who don't watch this video itself. We'll see people saying like, "Oh, it's Xbox Gold. That's why it's no." It's like there is no reason. There's nothing preventing Xbox.
It used to be Xbox Gold until they changed the free to play.
Right.
Free to play games are allowed on now, so that means sub games are also fall under that rule.
And even back on the Xbox 360, that was always the case as well with Final Fantasy XI. But what I mean by that is that there's still always this misinformation because somebody is like, the last I checked on it back in 2013 was Microsoft wanted it on their own servers. Yeah, back in 2013 they did, but they have, thankfully changed. A lot has changed. And so what Yoshi P has been last stated is that they're not talking about other platforms until after the launch of the PS5. And the PS5 launched on the 25th. That is their full version, no longer in beta. And so the question is to the panel here is what are the odds that we are going to see Final Fantasy XIV announced for Xbox at E3? And I'm going to save my thoughts to the end. I'm going to start with Chris. You're up.
It's the last logical opportunity to do it prior to launch because pre-orders have already started. It was not listed among the pre-order platforms. If it is not announced now, I don't see how it is not next FanFest at the earliest. I do not see how we don't immediately kick this out to where we are beginning the hype train. And probably even then, the only reason I would say it's the first FanFest of 3 is because that's the North American FanFest. And that's where you're going to get the biggest swing for Xbox players. Otherwise, you'd save it till the end when you announce your pre-order date and you do it at the Japanese FanFest. But that's going to fall on deaf ears in that audience because Xbox doesn't really have the same hold in that market. And Phil Spencer said, we don't have the games that are played in that market. They don't buy our console. Like, that's a chicken and an egg conversation. And so he's inviting JRPGs onto Xbox, even if they don't have immense success out of the gate, because he knows like you have to build this stuff if you want to be a platform for more types of gamers. And so I think if it is not announced here, it will be pushed out, and we're not looking at this expansion. And the sad part of that is that at this point, Phil Spencer had a number of things he expected from Yoshi P. All of those have either been removed as requirements or have been solved. Yoshi P had a number of requirements from Phil and has come out himself and said all of those have either been removed as requirements or solved. They've even thanked each other publicly. They've had nothing but nice things to say. Both of them have said they want it. And Final Fantasy has said that they are now trying to get to 30 million players having played the game, and they're at 22. That's 8 million players. Oceanic servers is a big swing at that, but not nearly compared to picking up Xbox. You want to knock out 8 million players? Xbox. We hit 30 million right after Endwalker launch. Like, that's how that happens. So I hope it happens, but like I'm setting my expectations at it's a coincidence that they're back-to-back stages. I'd love to be wrong.
Shirley, I want to go to you. What do you think?
I will not comment either way. I'm not commenting on this.
I don't know what that means. All right, Zoro, you're up.
Like I said,
does Chili know? He is Yoshi P, by the way, but go ahead.
Like I said before, I don't know if it's a coincidence that they're back to back, stages and everything for E3. If that has anything to do with it, I just saw it last night and messaged you, Brian. It was like, hey, I don't know if you saw this, but it could be a possibility. My expectation for it is still like way down here, but for that kind of thing to happen, you never know.
Mm-hmm. Now, Michael says, I think the only thing blocking Xbox is the SC developer resources, and that won't happen until after this cycle. And so what that means is that when they make a new version of Final Fantasy, so the Mac version, the PlayStation 4 version, the PlayStation 4 Pro version, the PS5 version, PC version, all of these versions require like resources, not, digital resources, not imaginary resources, physical people, HR resources to be able to make sure that they're doing all of this work. especially when it comes to console. And I think that's a real key difference maker when it comes to Final Fantasy XIV. We're seeing a huge influx with the hype for Endwalker, a lot of new players coming in, and then obviously with WoW not showing up and not making content right now, you're seeing a lot of frustration from that community, and having big creators draw interest in that over it, is huge. So, like, does 14 need the Xbox to hit 30 million? No, not at all. But if they want to hit that number fast, I think that's overall good. And based off of what Yoshi P has said publicly numerous times, that he wants the game on Xbox. He wants the game everywhere. And I think that would ultimately be exciting. I have to temper. I want to go to Chris here in a second, but I have to temper. I'm putting my thought and every thought that pops into my head that it could happen in the no column, just so if it does, you could see a grown man cry after like 8 years. How long has it been? How long have I waited for this day? I want it. I want it so bad, but I don't.
Open wide the sails.
What's up? What do you say?
Open wide the sails.
Open wide the sails.
Get all the kids out of the house.
I also want my million from Chris, if it has a connection with Game Pass. So I haven't paid him yet because we were like, I was like, is it going to be here? So, like, if nothing happens at E3, I'm going to hand him his million gil, because I don't see from E3 a logical point, because with pre-orders. Well, like, the logic there is that if I'm wrong, I win. Like, you win either way. That 14's coming to Xbox, yay! Or 14's not coming to Xbox. I get a million gil. Like, I can weep over this, etc. So I think that's where I'm putting it in that category. A lot of people have been asking me that question, and so I want to I figure that'd be kind of a good panel discussion. Chili not commenting on this at all has me. That gives me a little hope for some weird reason. So I'm just gonna dadgummit.
We all know I've heard stuff in the past, and well, the problem is if I hear stuff and talk about it, it can be also wrong.
Yeah.
Because I might hear stuff that's 6 months ago. So
right
when they were talking about it, it could have been true, but things change. Things could have changed today.
Sony in and of itself is getting buddy up with PlayStation.
Yeah.
And it's Sony, of course, is with PlayStation.
Yeah,
Square Enix.
huge
fans of the.
Sony loves PlayStation.
Guys, have you heard about?
Did they buy them? What?
Yeah, I have. On that note, I'm a huge fan of Work to Game. Just saying it. Just gonna put it out there on the platform right now here on Ginger Prime. They've been getting that's a huge possibility, because all of a sudden, Microsoft makes these moves, like with Outriders, starts clawing away at Sony sales, which it does. That's the thing a lot of people aren't factoring in, is that Outriders and Game Pass cost Sony 30% of every potential sale that says, now I'm going to go over here, because they're not going to get that cut anymore. So it's like, okay, like that's some the MLB The Show. Oh, you can play that on Xbox now for free, and you got to pay $70 over on PlayStation? We'll just claw that back over here. Like, yeah, they're getting the Game Pass stuff, but it's still like this narrative, and it'll be interesting to see, because, yeah, it could be announced, but things change, and until it's announced, like, I'm just sitting here going like, but with like what Chris said, if it's not now, I'm not expecting it till the next FanFest. I would be blown away if they're like, it's 6.3 and it's now on Xbox. Be like, what?
I mean,
it's our new limited platform.
Yeah.
Technically, out of any of them, it could be 6.0 or 6.1, because 6.1 is a new story.
It's true.
Yoshi's tried very hard to squelch that narrative that it's a new game and it's a new start for new players. He wants to view this as a finale. Please watch the whole show. Please don't just jump in at 6.1. That's been what he's been talking. I don't know if that will pivot, right? I don't know if he's just saying like, hey, don't skip it before it comes out. Right. So I don't know if that'll change. I will say my concern with the timeline here is if Xbox does not come out for Endwalker, the next expansion will have been, when we start to talk about this, the PS3 was supported for 4 years after the PS4 platform was confirmed. If we assume that timeline stays true, then 4 years after the PS5 platform dropped, which is now, we're looking at possibly dropping PS4 due to the fact that the hardware will have just aged out. And if we do that, if that ends up being the timeline that Xbox comes on, there is a version of the world where people go, they dropped PS4 to make room for Xbox. That won't be what happened, but that will be the optics, and it won't look good. It will look like they took my version away to invite these people who have never played, which is not at all how it will actually have been decided internally. But like, to get in front of that, it's a whole lot better if Xbox joins the family now.
Yeah, and I can kind of see where Chili's coming from with 6.1, especially with them opening the Oceanic Data Center in 6.1.
Yeah.
So I could see them waiting for that to say, hey, Xbox coming 6.1.
Logical.
But you gotta announce it now. Like, what? That's not a holiday announcement.
Yeah, I can see them.
Why don't you beat this game from start to finish before you can join in? It literally ended without you.
Yeah, like if they do announce it at this E3, I could see them announcing it for 6.1. I agree with Chili on that.
Yeah.
Again, just because of the Oceanic Data Center opening up 6.1.
New players have like 300 hours of story. Start now. Like, it's going to take you till 6.1.
Yeah, and then you can
You're
always
fine.
transfer.
Yeah, very true.
How are they going to handle
would be
Oceanic? So to pivot slightly with Oceanic,
Please go ahead.
how do they handle this? So do we migrate existing servers off of EU and JP? Do we spin up all new ones? And if we spin up all new servers, this will be the first time we've spun up new servers since Ishgard Restoration. Which crafter gets to be the statue? Is the Ishgard Restoration already complete, or does it start over? Do they get the same number of housing wards, and are those time gated, or is it first come, first serve when it opens up and it's just chaos? Because 6.1 is also going to release Ishgard housing. And so like, that's a lot at once to go live.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the housing will probably be delayed because they never really launch it straight away. So I'm going to guess with random with Ishgard Foundation. I don't know, because it's going to be new servers. It's not going to be the same ones. Because that'd be weird if they split the servers up even more, because the EU sent it, because it's probably going to be EU, right? They'll be affected more than North America. So it'd be a bit weird if they
free migrations for anybody that feels that they're affected adversely, or like they wish they were included, or they got included and they didn't want to be. So there'll be free transfers.
Yeah, but that means some of those will lose. I don't think so. No, I think it's going to be new servers.
I think that's most logical, but it immediately made me wonder what happens to Ishgard Restoration.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Because that's
RNG, just they roll a dice and whoever gets it gets the crafting logo.
They come out with exactly 8, so it's one of each.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Culinarian on all of them.
I mean, that's the only good one.
It's not what Sargatanis rolled.
No.
No, we got alchemy in ours. It just looks like a nuclear missile. I don't like it.
You wanted a large frying pan?
Yeah, I wanted a large frying pan.
These are pivotal things. I couldn't even find the statue the other day. It took me a second.
Get that large flying pan. Flying pan.
Yeah, flying pan.
Perfect.
Welcome to the channel.
Welcome to
Cool.
the channel.
I just wondered while I had people here that.
The other side of it is
guessed.
that like JP also has 3 data centers, like within their environment. So like if they do siphon, the question is that maybe I guess I would have to look at the volume, because maybe they're like, okay, because with data center visit, I don't think it's really that pivotal. It doesn't it's not going to split people up as like the world visit did, like when Shadowbringers
It matters
launched.
because you lose your free company and or your house.
But
Nothing else matters.
I can see them spinning up the new servers. Not only that, or because it would just make sense, but because if they just siphon off of the already existing servers, JP, EU, NA, you're still going to have that ping getting to those servers, unless they put some kind of jump point in the Oceania Center. You know what I mean? If they don't put some kind of through point, you're just going to continue to have that ridiculous ping. And that's not going to help anybody.
I don't think you're going to see.
I just realized, why are we talking about this?
Doesn't have a link down below for how to remove ping.
Oh, I use it too, but I'm just saying, like.
I just remember, why are we even talking about this as an idea? Because didn't they show off the fact that they built new servers at FanFest?
Yeah, they did.
I believe they did. It just, my question was, are they migrating existing servers over there? I don't think they are. And then as a result, right? So that's the premise. I don't think they are. And then you guys agree with that. So that means new servers. So then my question becomes, what do we do about housing and Ishgard Restoration?
Well,
Because when
They
we
said
spun up new
how's it
data centers
6.1?
now,
They said how's it 6.1, but they didn't say if it's exactly 6.1. It could
Right,
be
but still,
6.15.
those servers coming
matter
online,
when it
coming
happens.
online for Endwalker
sure.
and Ishgard Restoration has been completed on the existing servers. How nuts
Oh,
would
yeah.
it be if they let you do Ishgard Restoration in the Oceanic region? Like, hey, if you want to relive that, we're going to do that again.
can I go help?
No, I don't.
Data center
No.
visit.
No.
Chili's already
No.
done 95 hours of it. For those of us that haven't, 95 hours of every day of every race. You've done thousands of hours. Do you have your pterodactyl?
No, I don't. I need to get it someday. Yeah, I only did fishing. I did 15 to 18 hours a day of fishing for 9 days.
That's rough.
I even streamed the last 20 hours, just constant.
My goodness. My goodness. All right.
Thank God for macros.
Makes my head hurt.
Oh man, dude. Anyway, tip of the hat for that. All right, thank you so much for checking out this highlight from Epic Loot Radio. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe button, and more. And check out our other channels, Ginger Gaming Radio, Ginger Prime, and Work to Game for more content. Thanks for being here, and you're awesome.